I'd bet the house on Ilia. His grappling offensively, it's very good. If like you shoot in on this guy's legs and you make a mistake and you're the one going for the takedown, he has a very good chance that he might put your ass.
Jorge Masvidal says he would never bet against Ilia Topuria ahead of his fight with Islam Makhachev, as he thinks Ilia's grappling is too much. However, Arnold Allen said that he would like to see Islam Makhachev fight Ilia Topuria. He understands why Islam wouldn't want that fight. Islam wants to fight real contenders and has had to face late notice opponents and replacements in the past. Arnold believes Islam wants to make his title more secure and prove himself. He also mentioned that beating Ilia would be a big win for Islam, as it would look impressive.
I'd like to see him fight Islam. I'd like to see him fight Islam, but I mean, I understand why Islam wouldn't want it, right? He wants to fight legit contenders, and he's had like featherweights, ex-featherweights, late notice guys, replacements. He wants to sort of solidify his title reign, but probably is no bigger fight than Ilia, right? If he goes and batters Ilia, it looks pretty good.
For the prediction, Allen further said that every time he's counted someone out, they have proved him wrong, so he isn't going to do that again. He thinks Islam wins the fight, but it's still a tough challenge for him.
I don't know. Every time I've ruled him out, he proves me wrong, so I'm not going to do it again. Yeah, like I say, yeah, I think Islam wins and he gets ironed out, so, but yeah.
Moreover, Chase Hooper said that he was really impressed with Islam's last performance, especially his striking. He noted that compared to Khabib, who was more of a pure grappler, Islam and the newer generation of Dagestani fighters, like Umar, are much more well-rounded. Hooper mentioned that this is tough for everyone else in the division, but still thinks Islam will win.
Honestly, I was really impressed. Islam's last time out, I felt like his striking was really improving. So I think that's, like, especially when you look back at like Khabib's fights, like he's much more of a pure grappler, and then you see Islam and you see Umar and these newer generation Dagestani guys. I think they're a lot more well-rounded, which sucks for everybody else in the division. But I don't know. I think Islam still takes it.
Mariscal expressed his preference for Ilia to win, noting that as a featherweight moving up, it would be a significant achievement for him. Mariscal shared that if he were a champion, he would also want to go up and fight a lightweight. He believes Ilia has the potential to win the fight and specifically sees a knockout as the likely path to victory. He acknowledged that Ilia's heavy power and great grappling make him a formidable opponent.
Man, I would like Topuria to win. You know, he's obviously the featherweight going up. You know, and that's what my style is. Like, if I'm the champ, I would like to go up too and, you know, fight the lightweight guy, you know. But yeah, I would like I'd got Topuria on that fight.
So you picked Topuria to win too?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Knockout, you think? Because I think that's probably the path to victory if he does it.
Yeah, for sure, knockout. You know, I think he'd obviously pick and pull.
Mariscal also pointed out that despite Ilia's strong takedown defense, no one has really been able to control him on the ground. He highlighted how important it is to not just take down an opponent, but to hurt and break their will, drawing comparisons to how Volkanovski almost did this to Islam. He believes Ilia's combination of power, grappling, and decision-making could be the key factors in overcoming Ilia, emphasizing that whoever can execute their game plan effectively will likely come out on top.
You know, I just haven't seen anybody really control even to Ilia on the ground. Even he's been taken down, but it's about holding him, hurting him, and really breaking that fighter's will. And I think we've seen Volk almost do it to Islam, you know. So I feel like it's different when you got Topuria, who's actually got some crazy heavy density power and all his strikes and the decisions he makes, and he's got great grappling. So it's all about, you know, whoever displays the game the right way, right?
However, Jorge Masvidal expressed strong confidence in Ilia's grappling skills, stating he would bet the house on him. Masvidal emphasized that Ilia's offensive grappling is very impressive, especially when it comes to defending against takedowns. He explained that if someone tries to take Ilia down and makes a mistake, there's a good chance Ilia will reverse the situation and take control, potentially putting the opponent in a difficult position.
I'd bet the house on Ilia. His grappling offensively, it's very good. If like you shoot in on this guy's legs and you make a mistake and you're the one going for the takedown, he has a very good chance that he might put your
Moreover, Cody Brundage discussed the potential matchup between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev. He acknowledged how impressive Ilia has been lately, especially with his knockouts of notable fighters like Holloway and Volkanovski. Brundage mentioned that if Ilia were to knock out Islam as well, he would be in the conversation for one of the greatest of all time, possibly even making it to the top 3.
It's a crazy fight. You know, we talked about that. You know, Yusuf obviously at 145, he's on a tear. He's making his come up, and he wants that Ilia fight so bad. They already fought once, but we were talking about if Ilia goes in and knocks out Islam Makhachev, like how high do we put him on the GOAT list? Right? Like to me, I'm like, John Jones is #1 no matter what. I don't think anybody could surpass John Jones for a long time. Obviously it would take a ton, but everyone in my circle at least is like, man, if he goes and knocks out Islam after knocking out Holloway, after knocking out Volk, he's got to be up there like top 3.
However, Brundage also pointed out that despite some people underestimating Ilia's grappling, he's a very skilled wrestler and black belt with great submissions. That being said, Brundage leaned toward Islam winning the fight due to his size advantage, suggesting that weight could play a significant factor when both fighters are so highly skilled. Ultimately, he believes the fight would be a thrilling and competitive contest.
And he could do it. I think people, like, he's been knocking all these people out. People really sleep on Ilia's grappling. He's a super high level black belt with really good submissions, really good wrestling. And so I think people are worried, like saying, like, oh, well, he'll get out wrestled, but he has great wrestling. So, man, I don't know. I would have to go with Islam because he's bigger, and I think weight maybe plays a factor when you have 2 really highly skilled guys, but that would be an absolute banger of a fight.
Elijah Smith expressed his belief that Islam Makhachev would win in a potential fight against Ilia Topuria. While Smith acknowledged how impressive Ilia has been, he thinks Islam's size and wrestling pedigree give him the advantage.
I think Islam. I think Islam would be the one to. And I like Ilia, but I just think Islam is still a little bit bigger.
Elijah Smith believes Islam Makhachev's superior wrestling will be the key factor in defeating Ilia Topuria. He noted that while Ilia's past opponents, like Max Holloway and Volkanovski, avoided wrestling due to fear of his jiu-jitsu, Islam's wrestling is on another level, as shown in his fight against Charles Oliveira. Smith feels that if Ilia hasn't faced the pressure Islam brings, it could be a major challenge. Therefore, Smith would bet on Islam winning the fight.
Everybody else, I mean, Max Holloway and Volkanovski, they didn't try to go for a takedown, and I think they were scared of his jiu-jitsu. But Islam Makhachev, he isn't scared of anybody's jiu-jitsu. He even said that when he fought Charles Oliveira. So I definitely got. If I had to be a safe bettor, I would put it on Islam.
Pedro Falcao expressed that while it's difficult to predict the outcome, he believes Ilia Topuria has the ability to challenge Islam Makhachev. However, he thinks Islam is very smart and has a good game plan. Islam will likely control the distance and wait for the right time to secure a takedown, not rushing it to avoid tiring himself out. Falcao highlighted that Islam is skilled and the #1 pound-for-pound fighter. In the end, he feels Islam, being the bigger fighter, would win by decision.
Oh, this is very hard to know. But I think Ilia has the abilities for knocking everybody down for sure. But Makhachev is so smart, good game plan for sure. He's gonna walk, make the distance, and find a good time for takedown for sure. No rush for takedown. He knows if he go rush, he's gonna be tired, and he has the skill. He's #1 pound for pound, you know. He's really good. For me, it's good for Makhachev because he's bigger.
And do you think Islam would win that?
Yeah, by unanimous decision.
Renato Moicano said it's tough to find a suitable opponent for Islam Makhachev. He noted that Beneil Dariush isn't fighting for the title after pulling out at the last minute, and Charles Oliveira, who lost to Islam, only defeated Michael Chandler, who's not in a strong position. Moicano also expressed he doesn't want to see Justin Gaethje fight Islam, as Gaethje lost to Max Holloway, beat Fiziev after 2 years of inactivity, and took a fight on short notice. He acknowledged that Max Holloway is coming off a loss loss to Ilia Topuria and is currently in a difficult position.
If you were the UFC, you were able to dictate who Islam fights next, who would you put as opponent?
That's tough, because if you look to the top 5, we have Arman. Arman is not fighting for the title because he pulled out on the last minute. We have Charles that lost to Islam and only beat Michael Chandler. And Michael Chandler is not in a good position right now. Then you have Gaethje. I don't want to see Gaethje fighting Islam because he lost to Max Holloway. And then he beat Fiziev.
Right.
Fiziev, 2 years without fighting, and then get the fight on 10 days notice. I don't want to watch the fight, but I could see that happen too, you know?
Right.
And then you see Max Holloway is come off a loss to Topuria. Right now, it's a mess.
Eddie Cha believes Ilia Topuria has great potential, praising his distance control, striking, and strong grappling background from Brave. He's impressed by how quickly Ilia improved his striking, but is concerned about the size difference in grappling exchanges. Despite this, Cha favors Islam in the matchup.
Yeah, people probably think I'm crazy, but I think Ilia can get it done.
Okay.
He's one of my favorite guys to watch right now. His distance game. I mean, if you've seen him when he was like 6 or 7-0 at Brave before the UFC, he would just take guys down and just grapple. You know, I think that was his biggest strength. That's why I'm so impressed with that guy, because for him to be as good in striking in a short amount of time, understanding the game and how he runs his offense, it's phenomenal. So size factor is my biggest concern, and I think the grappling, we'll see what happens, but I like Ilia on that one.
So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and also make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.